Hello everyone, today we're going to follow the lab module 1 lab 7 Azure Policy, and this is available uh, in the GitHub AZ500 Azure Security. I'm just going to follow the lab and see if I can follow it nicely and be able to complete the lab. So this lab is focused on the Azure Policy, and we're going to learn how to use the Azure Policy to do some of the most common tasks related to creating, assigning and managing policies across your organization, okay, such as assign a policy to enforce a condition for resources you create in the future. So if you want to make sure that you're only creating say a virtual machine in certain US location and that has to have a certain size or memory or cannot exceed a certain size for say disk space, you can assign all that in your Azure Policy. So first, exercise 1, it's about using the Azure Policy. In this exercise we're going to learn the basics of Azure Policy, and there are tons of built-in policy. They're already there in Azure. We're going to take a look at that, and we're going to use some of them. So first task, create a Azure Policy assignment. Okay, that's where everything starts. In this task we're going to browse to the built-in policy definitions using the portal, and then we'll create a policy management assignment using the built-in definitions to restrict which Azure regions can be used. Okay, so that's our goal. This policy will be scoped to the test RG resource group. So we need a resource group which is test RG. So let's go log into our Azure and let's create the resource group by running this PowerShell command. All right, so I have a Ubuntu installation of PowerShell, and I'm already logged in here, so I'm just going to run this new resource group, name my resource group location UK South. Okay, so you see that it's similar kind of resource that you're seeing over here as well. So if you want to go to my subscription and go to the resource group, I would expect that resource group is now added to my list of resource groups, so that you can click over here sometimes to see what's going on, the notifications. Let me see what is the name. Resource group name is my resource group. So come over here, find my resource groups. It's right there. So it's got created. So if you click on it, that's, you have nothing in the resource group. It's a blank resource group at this time. Alright, so in this resource group, in the hub menu, we're going to search for policy. So let's go back over here and let's look at the policy. Okay, and if you search here, the policy is coming up, so we'll click on that one. And if you just look at the policy, different kind of blades that are available, we have overview, getting started, join, preview. I've never used. Compliance is something probably everybody uses. Remediation is another one important. And under authoring is where you kind of assign the policies. Assignments, you could start with assignments, and under definitions you can define your own policy. Newer way of doing this policy assignments is the blueprint, resource grab, and user preview is something I have not used very much. So on this one, what we're going to do, go back to the lab. So we are here, so we are in the policy. Okay, in the policy blade, click on the definitions to see list of available policy definitions. So let's do that. So here, before we assign something, let's look at what we have. So if I go to the definition, so let's kind of take a look at what we have. Okay, so tons of policies. So I'm just browsing. I don't know the total count, but there looks like hundreds. Okay, so let's just kind of read through what we have. Maybe let's try to filter. So there are two things that you see. One is the initiative and the policy. Initiatives is sometimes a group of policies, and you group them together and you create an initiative. Let's look at type, custom and built-in, category. This is maybe a easier way to figure out the different type of policies that you want to use. So let's say for backup, so if I deselect everything, say I want to look at the policies that I have for backup. So these are two policies that are default, that are in there, and if you want you can enforce them. One is that Azure backup should be enabled for virtual machines. That's pretty important, right? And configure backup for VM of a location to an existing central vault in the same location. So two, let's look at some other type of, say for key vault. What should be key vault is actually pretty important. It stores all of your keys and secrets and certificates, right? So I have a whole bunch of policies that are available that you should be using for the key vault. Key vault object should be recoverable. Diagnostic logs and key vault should be enabled. Deploy diagnostic setting for key vault to event hub. So all of that needs to be there. So now go back to the lab and see what do we want, what they want us to do. So here we can use the filter. So our goal is to restrict the location. So what we're going to do, we're going to search for allowed locations and see if there are already some policies over here. I'm going to put allowed locations, and I'm gonna select all again from here. Okay, so if I search, the three different things coming up. So allowed locations for resource groups, allowed locations, Azure custom DB allowed locations. So we have to choose one of them. So I feel like you can, if you want to apply to the resource group, I can use this one, allowed resource group for resource group, or we can use the more general allowed locations for this policy assignment. So let's go back to the lab. So they're using the allowed locations, so we'll click on that one, and then we're going to assign this. Okay, so let's go back over here, click on allowed locations, and when you do this, the definition would look like this. Okay, you can read through it. It's a kind of a JSON format. So display name, policy type is a built-in policy. Description, the policy enables you to restrict the location of your organization. Can specify when deploying resources. Right, so not in, so policy rule usually all of, not in, not equals, all of that stuff already in here. Okay, now when you click on assign, it's gonna actually ask you for certain more things. So first is the scope. Okay, let's go back over here. Okay, so select the ellipsis button, and this is the resource group, is the scope that we're going to use the policy to apply. Okay, so I can go for, I have a management group, so if I wanted I can apply the policy to my management group, but for this time I can go for the Azure subscription, but I can even be more granular and go to my resource group. Okay, this is the one that we wanted to target, so always remember to click on the select. So that's define the scope, and then assignment name is good. Description, I don't think you need to put in anything. Policy enforcement, you enforce this, and then you have to go to the parameters. Okay, so what are the allowed locations? So let's go back in here. Let's see if they wanted us to do anything else. All right, assignment name, allow UK South for my resource group. Okay, so assignment basics to the lab. So description, allow UK South for my resource group. Right, no assignment name. So for the name, they're saying give this assignment name is this. So pretty much from the name you can tell that this resource group, we are only going to allow UK South for this particular resource group. Okay, description, allow resource to be located in this UK South only. So let's go back and do that. Update my description. We did that. Policy enforcement enabled and assigned by my name. Okay, policy enforcement is enabled, and this is me. I'm assigning. Okay, so then go to the parameters now. Next parameters tab. and we gotta choose the UK South. That's pretty obvious, right? Because we already said that's the only thing that we're gonna do. So where is my UK South? And I don't think we really need remediation. We're probably not gonna use in this lab. Let's take a look at it. As the create, review, and create, yeah, we're not doing anything else. So at this time you can just hit create and review, and then just hit create, and it says creating policy assignment succeeded. Okay, so once that's done, okay, so how do you verify that your policy is actually working? So we can try to create something in that resource group where we would put the location is not what is allowed, and see what we get. So in this one they're saying just create a virtual network, okay, in this resource group. So let's go back in here, create a resource, actually from here just say virtual networks. Okay, so we're gonna create a new virtual network, and we're gonna add it to the resource group, which is my resource group, and region C, and I'll say call virtual network. Okay, and look, I'm trying to use the US East. Okay, and if I do a create and review, and it's running for validation, it says validation passed. That's not what I was expecting. So let's try to even create it and see what happens. There we go. So although validation passed, when we try to create it, it says your deployment failed, and deployment failed because the virtual mode dissolved by the policy definition, where it's pretty much saying allowed locations is not in the right location. So you have to put the location in the right place to be able to deploy this resource. Okay, so these are some things I didn't specify. You can, but they're not really needed. And that's about it. So here they actually, let's try to do it the way they also did it. So let's go back. Say you delete this one, okay, because it was anyway not it was not, we were not able to do it, right? And we already verified that it didn't work. So virtual networks, add, let's fill in some more information in here. Resource group again is my resource group name. Let me see if they're providing any name by my VNet. So let's do that. Okay, and US, that's fine. Here IP address range, we are doing 10.0.0.16. Okay, oh, it's already in there, so I don't need to worry about it. Resource group already selected, location selected, address space and address range. This is address space. I need I have a subnet which is 10.0.0.0.24, and that's already, I already got there. It's address space, my resource group, address range. This has changed just a little, as you can see over here. Those address range is no longer used. It's just called the subnet name and the name of the subnet. Okay, security, DDoS protection, you can just use basic or standard. You gotta pay some extra money. DDoS protection plan, I don't have any DDoS protection plan right now, so I'm just gonna go with basic. Firewall you can enable, but if you do, you gotta go through some more configuration, which I'm not doing at this time. Tags, We don't need any tags. Review and create. So here for some reason this has really changed. So this the button that you see here, that validation is not showing up over here. So it's only happening when you are trying to create this. Okay, but at the end you are not able to create this resource, and that's kind of the goal of this assignment. So since I have this policy, I'm not able to create this resource group. I wish this is a little bit better. Like here I have the error over here, and that's kind of concludes the lab. Thanks for watching.